Demetrious! Get it! That's good night, Irene!
Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson wasn't supposed to be overlooked. Not after shattering UFC records, not after 11 title defenses, and certainly not after dominating the flyweight division to the point of near extinction. But overlooked he was. Despite his brilliance, the spotlight never quite landed on him the way it did others until.
Oh, big right! DJ is standing! Big knee!
He stepped out of the octagon and into something different, something global, something that would allow him to test himself against not just opponents, but entire styles. This is the story of a man who had already proven himself as the best, yet chose to start again not for glory, not for redemption, but for the pure love of the fight. It's a journey across continents, rule sets, and philosophies. This is the journey of Demetrious Johnson through the unforgiving crucible of one championship. The world first learned that Mighty Mouse was headed to Asia in the fall of 2018. At the time, it was a seismic shift in MMA. The UFC had traded traded like an NBA player, sending their most dominant flyweight to one championship in exchange for grappler Ben Askren. For some, this was a dismissal. For others, it was liberation. One championship wasn't just another fight promotion, it was an entirely different ecosystem. Home to both MMA and elite-level Muay Thai and kickboxing, one offered Demetrious something the UFC never could: variety. In one, he wouldn't just face opponents. He would battle disciplines: Thai legends, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu wizards, knockout artists, samurai-style strikers. Mighty Mouse was about to face everyone, and he welcomed it. What drew him in wasn't just the promise of new challenges, but the philosophy. One system focused on hydration tests and natural weight classes allowed Demetrious to fight at 135 pounds without training his body to make weight. For a man obsessed with the craft of fighting, this was paradise. In March 2019, Johnson made his one debut in a Grand Prix tournament, a single-elimination gauntlet designed to crown the next challenger for the flyweight title. His first test, Yuya Wakamatsu, a heavy-handed Japanese striker with a reputation for violent finishes. Though undersized, Johnson pressured from the jump, but Wakamatsu was no pushover. He countered well, shook off takedowns, and even found moments of dominance.
And Jenny King had 13 straight 5-round matches. For the first time, and look at Johnson go to work. Now back on the takedowns that come off of DJ. He continuously attacks.
But Demetrious was playing a longer game. Late in the second round, he latched onto Wakamatsu's neck and cinched in a guillotine. With surgical precision and decades of grappling behind him, Johnson squeezed until the samurai slept. One down, the next chapter brought him into the ring against Tatsumitsu Wada, another Japanese veteran, this time with a jiu-jitsu flair. Wada was wild, unpredictable, and tough. In the opening minutes, Johnson found himself in positions he hadn't visited in years, backed up, flattened out, and absorbing pressure. But champions adapt. From round 2 onward, Demetrious took control, landing takedowns, grinding out top control, and slowly suffocating Wada's momentum. By decision, he advanced again, and in the final stood Danny Kingadriding, high on a 6-fight win streak and billed as one's next breakout Filipino star. But King God's momentum ran straight into a wall of experience. Johnson didn't allow him space to breathe. He dictated pace, layered his wrestling with surgical precision, and dominated from bell to bell. 3 wins in 6 months. Grand Prix champion, $1 million richer. But that wasn't the real prize. The real prize was Adriano Moraes, the reigning flyweight king, a Brazilian grappler with towering length and a lethal submission arsenal. Their championship clash in April 2021 was billed as East versus West, BJJ versus MMA, and experience versus size. And for the first time in 15 years, Demetrious Johnson lost violently. Moraes wasn't just bigger, he was smarter. He used his range to force Johnson into reckless entries, then timed a perfect knee to the head, while Demetrious was grounded perfectly legal in one, completely illegal in the UFC, and just like that, Mighty Mouse was out cold. It was a moment that shook the MMA world. Demetrious Johnson, knocked out, something no one had seen before. Some questioned his move to Asia, others said age was catching up. But Johnson, he went back to the lab. When he returned, it was for something altogether unprecedented, a mixed rules super fight against Rodtang Jitmuangnan, the Muay Thai Terminator. A 4-round fight alternating between Muay Thai and MMA rules each round. It was a dangerous gamble. Rodtang had over 300 fights, most of them bare-knuckle brawls in Bangkok, and he was undefeated in one. Round 1 was Muay Thai, and Rodtang wasted no time. He marched forward with elbows, knees, and body shots. Johnson moved well, returned fire, and absorbed punishment but never ran. He survived. Round 2, MMA rules. Johnson smiled. Within moments, he shot in, took Rodtang down, and slid to the back. A rear naked choke ended it. Rodtang tapped. The striker's mystique faded under the weight of mixed martial arts. and Johnson proved that even the most feared Muay Thai artist wasn't safe on the ground. But he wasn't done yet. Not until he got his rematch on August 2022, the sequel with Moraes finally happened. And this time, Johnson was ready. The Brazilian again used range early, scoring with jabs and knees. But Johnson kept the pressure up, chipping away, round by round, wearing Moraes down. By the fourth, the fight had shifted. Johnson backed Moraes into the cage, faked low, then launched a flying knee that crashed through the champ's defenses. Moraes crumpled. The once unthinkable was now complete. Mighty Mouse avenged the only knockout loss of his career with a knockout. And in doing so, he recaptured not just a belt, but his legend. 1 year later, the trilogy arrived. The rubber match. The final statement. One championship made its U.S. debut in May 2023, and Demetrious headlined the card. Moraes returned, desperate to reclaim his throne. The bout was tense, technical, but Demetrious controlled the tempo, welcomed clinches, scored takedowns, and peppered Moraes with short, precise shots. He didn't just win. He solved Moraes like an equation he'd studied for years. Afterward, Johnson celebrated with his family and hinted at retirement. He'd done it all. UFC gold, 1 gold, Grand Prix titles. He had walked barefoot through Muay Thai hell and emerged victorious. He had stood against giants and legends, not for attention, not for approval, but because he could. Demetrious Johnson may have been underappreciated in the UFC, but his voyage to Asia turned skepticism into reverence. In one championship, he found not just new challenges, but a new identity. He became more than a champion. He became a martial arts immortal. If you were surprised by the layers of Demetrious Johnson's journey, if you think this kind of cross-discipline fighting is the future of MMA, let us know in the comments. Was the Rodtang fight his boldest move, or was Moraes the mountain he truly had to climb? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more fight history and breakdowns, and hit the bell to never miss a story worth telling.
But when I hit him, I saw him wobble. I was like, I know what that feels like.